And can it be that I should gain an interest in my Savior's blood? Died he for me who caused his pain, for me who scorned his perfect love. Amazing love, how can it be that you, my God, would die for me? Amazing love, how can it be that you, my God, would die for me? You left your Father's throne above, so free and infinite your grace, emptied yourself of all but love, and bled for Adam's helpless race. Amazing love, how can it be that you, my God, would die for me? Amazing love, how can it be that you, my God, would die for me? Boldly I come before your throne to claim your mercy immense and free. No greater love will e'er be known, for all my God has done for me. Amazing love, how can it be that you, my God, would die for me? Amazing love, how can it be that you, my God, would die, that you, my God, would die, that you, my God, would die for me. Well, hopefully that will get us started on the right foot. I apologize for, we seem to be just kind of a giant calamity over here right now, but, you know, I guess that happens sometimes. We've got some little technical bugs here, but you're all with me, and that means a lot. So yeah, today has been kind of a real roller coaster of a day for us, and I plan on telling you about that as the hour goes along. You know, I'm going to sing this next song. I wasn't planning on singing this right here, but man, I think I need this song right now. Maybe you do too. Sometimes when you feel like you need to kind of battle through something. So that's what's going to happen right now. I've sung this song a few times lately, and I've told the story a little bit, but suffice to say, for some reason, this song has been wandering into my sphere from a lot of different sources over the last couple of weeks, and I don't really have any earthly explanation for that, let's put it that way. And so maybe this song can be an anthem for you right now, because it definitely is for me. Mine eyes have seen the glory. Mine eyes have seen the glory. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Is marching on. He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet. Our God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea. With the glory in his bosom, he transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us die to make men free, while God is marching on. So glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. His truth is marching on. It's marching on. I gotta stop doing that after these songs. I did that this morning. I was playing a couple songs for our online church service this morning, but man, when I hear songs like that, I just afterward it's just kind of like it's like I just ate something good. I'm just like, it's good stuff. I love that. Did I just compare the Battle Hymn of the Republic to eating something good? Yes, I did. And I will regret that later. I'm once again so grateful that you're spending Easter with me right now. I can't even, I I can't even believe the circumstances that we're in. I can't believe that this is how we have to do these things. But you know, I find that God doesn't waste anything. You know, He makes use of everything, and I think this is no different. I'm hoping we can get that camera to work at some point. This is what happens when you go live. We would edit all of this out if we weren't live. I feel like I want to tell you where the button is.
I do. I want you to.
Okay. Right. You're just going to witness this. It's just going to have to happen that way. There's the normal button that you hit for the camera, and then there's that little switch on either side of it, like that's right around that button, and you push that, I think, backward toward you. All right. See, now this is embarrassing, but you know, an important thing. Let's see if we can get our other camera back. See, doesn't that feel better for all of us? Well, thank you so much all for being here tonight. Now, we will go back to that other camera if this one overheats again. But, you know, this is what happens when you start a production studio. I feel like I want to tell you guys a story, and I'm hoping that you'll bear with me because, as many of you know, it's very hard for me to have things happen, particularly things that happen with regard to my walk with God, that I don't express. I need to express these things right away when they happen. And today was a really, really kind of profound, interesting day, and it involves me telling you a very, very vulnerable story, which makes my hands cold just thinking about. But I feel like that's important because I think one of the things that we're missing right now is we're missing that vulnerability of connection. We have all of these devices that connect us, even how it's happening right now. And I think we run the risk of kind of losing the connection where one person makes themselves vulnerable to another. So just for the sake of this evening, I'm going to make myself a little vulnerable here. So before all of this coronavirus business happened, you know, I'm a musician. I'm a full-time musician. I make my living that way. I've made my living that way my whole life. And it's an interesting living. I've traveled all over the world. I've done some really amazing things. I've also had some really extreme lows in this realm. You know, we always kind of describe it as a roller coaster or a feast or famine or whatever kind of way you want to describe it. But that's basically kind of the deal. And so these last couple of years particularly, and any other full-time musician out there will kind of know what I'm speaking to here, is that these last couple of years have been exceptionally difficult for a lot of us who kind of are working musicians who make our living going around the world or the country playing music. It's been increasingly difficult for us to kind of make a living because the powers that be, whoever they might be, and there are several sources here, have just kind of figured out a way to kind of remove all of the different ways that musicians traditionally made money. I would go to, you know, festivals, and I would sing, and we would sell CDs, and that was kind of the deal. And you know, you get your music placed on various things, maybe a movie, things like that. And then all of a sudden, at some point, CDs stopped being a thing, like overnight. And it was a wonderful moment in time for the musician who was kind of a self, like an independent musician, because there was a wonderful window there where we weren't beholden to the record labels, and it was financially feasible to make your own albums independently at great studios. So that was a wonderful time. And then everything went to downloading and streaming and everything like that. And a lot of that went away. Obviously, I'm still grateful to those of you who are still picking up CDs, and I still have a bunch. But that's the deal. Okay. So cut to us, we buy this barn, and we kind of do that. And we realize that, my life has to be about performing. It has to be about getting to you, connecting with you, keeping my musical chops up so that it's still a good show and you guys can, get what you need. And this barn becomes a wonderful place where that happens. This barn that I'm sitting in right now, a lot of you know this story. That's one story I'm leaving out tonight, but I'll tell you another time. So, people would come here and listen to me play. And it allowed for such a wonderful connection and something that anybody who was in this audience, I think I was pretty good at communicating how much it meant to me that these audiences would come here and do this. So probably about, a few months ago, we were finding it increasingly difficult to figure out how to keep doing this. And at some point, right in the beginning of March, we found ourselves in a very extreme financial struggle for a couple of reasons. But that happened, and I promise you, there's a point to this, and this is a very valuable thing that came to me today. So kind of there we were with this, and we're like, well, it's okay. We can figure all of this stuff out because I just go out and perform, and we booked all of these shows, and everything was great, and it was great. And then something called COVID-19 happened, and overnight, every single show was canceled. Just boom, 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 gone. And we had two. I don't know what the best adjective is here. We had two bills, okay? And I'm talking about this in this way because I know that I really believe that everybody can relate to this thing. We had two massive bills that had come due, which we were just kind of looking toward my upcoming shows to deal with. It was a prohibitive amount of money, and we also kind of knew that we weren't probably going to be able to do that, so we just we prayed about it, and then we ignored it. Because it was like one of those things where now we just got to figure out how to survive and get through these next months. But the one thing that we had done was, for the first 6 months of last year, we got video equipment because this is something that we wanted to do. Eventually, we wanted to start to broadcast the shows that were taking place here. We knew that was going to be another level to this thing. So we get this video equipment, and we hadn't used it. We hadn't even figured out how it worked. But we had done that, and then we just kind of put it aside. We just felt really led to do that. Again, cut back to coronavirus time, and everything just goes crazy, and nobody can figure out anything, and everybody's trying to get their footing, and nothing makes sense. We have $0 in the bank. We have two massive bills, prohibitive amounts of money that were due. It's hard for me to share this with you because it's, this is tough stuff, but I know that you're going to know what I'm talking about here. And so that first night that I did one of these shows, I got up on this stage and I said to my wife, I don't know if anybody's going to watch this. I don't even know what this is. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to lay myself out there and hope that somebody finds it entertaining or meaningful or whatever. We prayed to God. We just gave it to God. Said, it's your thing. We're going to deal with that. And so we do that first show. And you supported us in a way that I can't even really think about it too directly without crying, so I'm going to try not to do that. And then we did another show, and you supported us. And then we did another show, and you supported us. And all of a sudden, we had enough money to pay those bills. And it seemed impossible we were in a place that seemed absolutely impossible. And through this communication, through whatever it is that we're doing here, you guys, you and God took care of us. And okay, so that's not the end of the story. So this happens, right? So I'm watching, and I say to my wife, so my wife and I aren't talking about the fact that these bills were due. We weren't talking about it. The money had come in, and it was enough. Inexplicably, it was enough. But what happened was, and this is why I wanted to tell you this, because what happened was, we started to feel safe again. We started to feel safety. But that was misguided. Because what happened was, as money started to come in, we started to breathe and go, okay, we're going to be able to pay our bills. Everything's good. It's good. And I had put off those two massive bills. I said, well, that's never going to happen. We're never going to be able to pay those. But now we can just breathe, and we can know that when these bills come due, we can pay them, because we're trying to do a lot here. I mean, like I said, musician, it's a feast or famine thing. You're always trying something, and we are always trying to do something. So just this morning, I looked at my wife and I said, so, we got to talk about the fact that we now have enough money to pay those bills. And we both just kind of like smirked at each other, and we said, listen, I don't know what we should do. Because I was starting to feel safe again, and I realized I wasn't feeling safe in the right place, because I was feeling safe in the fact that we had some financial stability, at least for a little while, but I wasn't feeling safe where I was supposed to feel safe, which is just in the Lord's hands, and just in God's hands. That's where you're supposed to feel safe. And it didn't even occur to me that to that point, that even though that money had come in, that we would use it to pay that bill, because that just seemed like an impossibility. So I said to my wife, I said, I think we have to do this, we have to do this thing, and we can. It reminds me of the old joke, and I know I'm kind of meandering here a little bit. I'm a little nervous about this, but it's the old joke about, it's told in a number of different ways, but a guy's he's stranded up on the roof of a building or something like that. You hear it, on an island. It's on an island, let's do it on an island. Guy's on an island, a boat comes by. The guy prays, "Oh, please, Lord, rescue me off this island." And a boat comes by, and the guy says, "Do you want to come with us?" And he says, "Nope, I prayed. The Lord's going to rescue me off the island." And the boat goes away, and then a helicopter lands on the island, and the same thing kind of keeps happening like that. And at some point, the guy's still on the island, and he's saying, "Lord, why haven't you rescued me?" And he's like, "I sent you a boat and a helicopter." So that thing happened. And so this morning, we just did it. We were able to pay off those bills, those impossible, prohibitive bills. So we go and we pay the first one, boom, paid it. And we go to try to pay the second one, and the website went down. It wouldn't let us do it. And we just laughed. And tried to remember, although I've wandered a little bit in this story, and forgive me because I'm a little nervous about saying something so vulnerable, because there's a lot of things that go along with this stuff. There's shame. There's what Jesus did on Easter Sunday was, in one fell swoop, give us everything that we will ever need. Everything. As long as we were willing to give our lives to him. And we make all these mistakes, and he's always there to pick it up if we trust him. And the way that I knew it was time to pay those bills was my friend Anna sent me a little message today, and I got to read you this because she was talking about a situation that she was having, and she said, it reminds me of Matthew 6:26. And it says, "Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns. And yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they?" And so I just wanted to I wanted to tell this story because, I don't really like talking about money stuff, but the reason I wanted to talk about it is because everybody understands that. Everybody's had to deal with that. Everybody knows the visceral nature of that struggle. And for a lot of people in different ways, you might be struggling with that thing right now. And just know that if you close your eyes and you offer your life to God, He will provide you everything you will ever need. And I know I took a really long path to get there, but I just wanted to tell you that tonight because when that happened to me today, when I realized we had everything we need and I didn't have to store up anything, we had everything we need. And we will always have everything we need. It was like a miracle. It was as profound an Easter moment as I have ever had. So thank you for indulging me in saying that. You had no choice. I mean, I guess you could have clicked off, and maybe many of you have. I don't know. Maybe I'll sing something now. You know what I'm going to sing right now is I'm going to sing a kind of a bluesy version of a song that, or of the very lyrics that God gave us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy most holy on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us all from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, Lord's Prayer. It's a little bit of lyrical perfection. I'm going to sing a song now that it moves me in a really, really powerful way, and it really tells the story of this particular emotion really, really well. It's a take that I hadn't heard before prior to hearing this song. I heard it done by one of my favorite bands, Nickel Creek, and it was on their first album, and it just kind of blew me away. And hopefully I can do it justice. The boy only wanted to give mother something, and all of her roses had bloomed. Looking at him as he came rushing in with them, knowing her roses were doomed. All she could see were some thorns buried deep, and tears that he cried as she tended his wounds, and he knew it was love. It was one he could understand. He was showing his love, and that's how we hurt his hands. He still remembers that night as a child on his mother's knee. She held him close and she opened her Bible and quietly started to read. And seeing a picture of Jesus, he cried out, "Mama, he's got some scars just like me." And he knew it was love. It was one he could understand. He was showing his love, and that's how we hurt his hands. Now the boy's gone and moved out on his own. When Uncle Sam comes along, a foreign affair, but our young men were there, and look at his number drawn. It wasn't that long till our hero was gone. He gave to a friend what he learned from the cross, and he knew it was love. It was one he could understand. He was showing his love, and that's how we hurt his hands. What a beautiful song. I didn't get a chance to wish one of my dear friends a happy birthday, which I wanted to do on the show last Wednesday, but I really just wanted to send a very warm message of love to my good friends Don and Maureen. It was Maureen's birthday this past week, and I just wanted to tell you guys how much I love you. Maureen, tell you how much I love you and how grateful I am that you are a lighthouse in our life, and just wish you many, many more happy birthdays where hopefully some people can come over and celebrate with you. I'll switch guitars here now. I got to sing this song this morning from my some of my friends at church via the internet. I think this song is, I told that very personal story, and like I said, I'm sorry if it meandered a little bit. I hope that you got where I was going with it, because I'm just so overwhelmed with the idea that we, when we are cradled in the arms of God, we will always have everything we need, and there is really nothing that can hold us down if that's the case. And I think one of the beautiful things about us being essentially in quarantine during Easter, because there's a lot of things that aren't great about that, but one of the great things is that we have a chance to kind of sit with God a little bit, talk to him, maybe quiet ourselves enough that we can actually hear him for a change. And this song, this song says it as good as any. Plus, it's cool music. It's got a little stank on it, which is one of my favorite things. Anytime I get to play this little swamp box here. Did I just say it has a little stank on it on Easter Sunday? Yep, I did. All right, see if you can join me in the way that this song feels, this message. All right, here we go. Shame is a prison as cruel as the grave. Shame is a robber, and he's come to take my name. Love is my redeemer, lifting me off the ground. Love is a power when my freedom song is found. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. There ain't no grave that's gonna hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, gonna rise up out of the ground. There ain't no grave that's gonna hold my body down. With a smooth velvet tongue, fear is a tyrant, so always telling me to run. Love is a resurrection, love is a trumpet sound. Love is a weapon, I'm gonna take my giants down. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. There ain't no grave that's gonna hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, gonna rise up out of the ground. There ain't no grave that's gonna hold my body down. There was a battle, a war between death and life. And there on a tree, the Lamb of God was crucified. He went down to hell, and he took back every key. He rose up as a lion to set all the captives free. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body welcome to. If you walked out of the grave, I'm a welcome to. If you walked out of the grave, I'm a welcome to. If you walked out of the grave, I'm a welcome to. I said if you walked out of the grave, I'm a welcome to. If you walked out of the grave, I'm a welcome to. If you walked out of the grave, if you walked out of the grave, if you walked out of the grave, I'm a welcome to. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, gonna rise up out of the ground. There ain't no grave that's gonna hold my body down. Well, that's an Easter anthem, at least to me it is. Man, I just love that song. I'm going to unplug my guitar here. I hope everybody's having a wonderful, happy Easter. I hope you're, you know, one of the beautiful things about this quarantine is we're all getting a chance to cook, aren't we? You know, we had been traveling around so much and I've been doing a lot of different things, and I've always loved to cook, and I haven't had a chance to, I hadn't really done it much recently. And so I've been kind of getting back into the swing of things, and that's been really fun to kind of I want to thank you again, everybody, for watching these two shows we're doing every week. I feel so honored that I get to kind of sing for you and that we get to remain connected through this time. And it's just so valuable. It's so important that we do that, that we stay connected in all the different ways that we can. You know, I find that God tends to be very efficient. I find that tends to be his thumbprint, you know, when he can change a lot of things and touch a whole lot of lives individually with one stroke of his hand. I mean, obviously there's a lot of people out there that are suffering, and we pray for those people, and we just lift them up, you know. But for those of us who aren't having to deal with like immediate sickness and things like that, and we're just kind of you know, sitting here at home, we have such an opportunity here to dig in a little bit. And I'm going to try singing a song that I've never sung before. But, you know, I mean, I've already just, you know, with the camera thing, and then I told the long story. I mean, you know, I figure if you haven't left me by now, then maybe you'll listen to me sing a song out here on the ledge. This is going to be my last song. And I think it sums up this day so perfectly. And gates and doors were barred, and all the windows fastened down. I spent the night in sleeplessness and rose at every sound, half in hope of sorrow and half in fear of the day would find the soldiers breaking through to drag us all away. And just before the sunrise, I heard something at the wall. The gate began to rattle and a voice began to call. I hurried to the window, looked down into the street, expecting swords and torches and the sound of soldiers' feet. But there was no one there but Mary, so I went down to let her in. John stood there beside me as she told me where she'd been. She said they'd moved him in the night, and none of us know where. The stone's been rolled away, and now his body isn't there. We both ran toward the garden, then John ran on ahead. We found the stone and empty tomb just the way that Mary said. But the winding sheet they wrapped him in was just an empty shell. And how or where they'd taken him, well, was more than I could tell. Oh, something strange had happened there, just what I did not know. John believed a miracle, but I just turned to go. Circumstance and speculation couldn't lift me very high, 'cause I'd seen them crucify him, and then I saw him die. Back inside the house again, the guilt and anguish came. Everything I'd promised him just added to my shame. When at last it came to choices, I denied I knew his name. And even if he was alive, it wouldn't be the same. But suddenly the air was filled with a strange and sweet perfume. Light that came from everywhere drove the shadows from the room. Jesus stood before me with his arms out open wide, and I fell down upon my knees and just clung to him, and I cried. Then he raised me to my feet as I looked into his eyes. Love was shining out for him like sunlight from the skies. Guilt and my confusion disappeared in sweet release, and every fear I'd ever had just melted into peace. 'Cause he's alive, he's alive. Heaven's gates are open wide. Lord, he's alive, he's alive, he's alive, and I'm forgiven. Heaven's gates are open wide. He's alive, oh, he's alive, and I'm forgiven. I just want to say it one more time that what Christ did for us on this day made it so that we would have everything we need. Everything we would ever need. I wish you all just God's blessings tonight. I wish you the peace and the safety of our God. And I look forward to seeing you again as these kind of shows go on. We got another all request night coming up on Wednesday. And so much love from my family to yours. God bless and happy Easter.